the report or the survey had, and really it was shocking that about 50% of Kenyans, say that they can or they have actually taken a bribe from a political aspirant.
True. The research was confidential, so we told them you don't need to write your name, you don't need to tell us who you are, because we also know that it's a crime for you to admit that you have taken a bribe.
Yeah.
So we went out and we asked them, can you genuinely tell us, have you ever taken a bribe? And it is saddening that over half of our respondents agreed to have picked a bribe. Most of them, of course, said it is because of the poverty levels, it is because of the income levels. But our message to them was that it is indeed a crime to take a bribe, and that even though they know this, they still practice it because they also know that institutions mandated with taking charge and taking into account who is giving and taking a bribe are not doing anything about it.
That's how they feel.
That's how they feel. And they also know that no one has been prosecuted over time. We heard about the Moses Wetangula case, which is one among, it's like a drop in the ocean of how big the problem is. And nothing much is going on around that discussion, Betty.
All right.
And we know that we cannot ignore the issue of voter bribery, because once a politician gets into the politics of today, the first question even the voters would ask you is, can you afford it? Can you afford to get into an election?
Money?
Yeah, do you have enough money?
Enough money, all right.
And this money is not little money for posters and billboards and campaigns.
For everything.
It's for everything. It's for...
And for what, dishing the money out.
Yes,
in the
being able to feed your people, Yes.
So let's take a look at part of the survey, and this is actually, the general outlook.
Yes, the general outlook.
You ask the respondents if they've ever received a bribe from a candidate or an aspirant, and 44% said no, but the larger majority, the bigger majority, 56% said yes. So, I mean, apart from poverty, are there other reasons that they gave as to why they received, these bribes?
The major reasons as to why they received these bribes was because they did not see any action being taken that would deter them from taking the bribe. Okay. If it's actually an offense that is being in the laws has been written down as a punishable offense according to the law,
right,
then if no one is being prosecuted, then why should I not pick,
But first of all, do they know it's a crime? Or is it just, dishing out, I'm getting my 50 bob from my politician?
In the survey, we actually asked the question. We were like, are you aware that picking a bribe is a crime? And most of them said yes. A majority, almost again in majority of the counties, over 50% said yes, we are aware it's a crime. But then it's a crime that is punishable by law, but nothing is being done about it. Right. We cannot see any action being taken around it. And even when they give us, they are not arrested. And even when we go and report to the police would not do anything about it. And even sometimes getting evidence that a bribe has been given is very difficult in their own words. They would say, then I would probably take a picture, take it to the police, and then what?
Okay.
And the methodology of the reporting also was a problem for them, because they would say, okay, I would pick and maybe report, but then, I wouldn't have much to do with it.
Let's talk about the youth. I mean, I'm interested to know the kind of demographics, people who took part in this survey. Are they young people, to start off?
A majority of the people we went out to talk to were young people, but then we also made sure to include opinion shapers within the society, like the elders who would go out to speak to, people who are opinion shapers in society.
Right.
So we looked at political aspirants, we looked at young people, we looked at political parties. So we brought in a variety of respondents so that we can be able to get the variety of response, so that our results are also not skewed in one direction, because bribes are being taken by everyone, an old person, a young person, everyone who is offered a bribe would probably take it, because it's money at the end of the day, and there's need, because of all the problems that Kenyans are facing.
Poverty and everything. So let's just take a look at the other part of the survey. And I'd like you also to talk to us about, why did you choose these counties? These are not the 47 counties. Why did you narrow it down to just, is it about 8 of them?
10 counties.
10 counties.
Yeah. So we made sure to go as diverse as we could. And we made sure that we went into at least a majority of the previously 8 provinces, so that we would cover at least a wide section of the respondents, and we made sure that our respondents have a certain inclination towards how this problem affects them directly. You know, we would have loved to go to at least say half of the counties, so it will be more representative. But then we chose this just on the basis that if this problem is prevalent in the country, then if we did it in 10 counties, it would probably show us a brief overview of how this problem is being viewed across the country.
All right, let's talk about the format or the mode of bribery that you have. I mean, is it aspirants or there are people who go out and dish money in rallies, or how does it happen? What are the various forms? And are people, you know, well educated and informed to know that this is actually somebody trying to give me a bribe and this is not a bribe? I mean, do they know the differences?
And we had a lot of debate around it, because people would then say, how would you differentiate between a gift and a bribe?
Yeah.
Because if someone said they want to buy me lunch and they want to give me so I can get home, you know.
Or here, go feed your
go and
kids.
feed your children,
How is that a bribe,
you know. But then we were very categorical in this, because we asked them, Betty, you know, sometimes if you want to deviate from the real problem, you tend to want to go around it. Today, if you are bribed, you would know you're being bribed, because the person bribing you is not going round about it. They want you to know that the reason why I'm giving you this money is so that you can help me do 1, 2, 3. And especially for politicians, they wouldn't want to be vague, because they want to incline your
probably
opinion.
they won't come back again to
Yes,
convince
they
you
want to incline
further.
you to think that this is me giving you, you need to return the favor. So when you're being bribed, you know you're being bribed, but you'd want to think, okay, maybe he's just buying lunch, or maybe it's just because I'm hungry. But the discussion was very clear that a bribe is a bribe, and you would know when you're being bribed. And there were various forms of bribes. Some were very open, where they would come on election day and give you money in exchange and be like, please go and vote.
Okay.
This is my reward to you if you do me this favor. And some of them even came in the form of, during the electioneering period, you'd find that some of the politicians would come out to pay school fees for some students. They would hold harambes.
So that's not goodwill.
Sometimes it's goodwill, but we can read in between the lines, you know. And some churches would get lots of money and would hold many harambes. When the period of elections is just nearing, you know, during the entire 4 years, we'd probably not see much of it. But as the election comes and as it approaches, you would see so many harambes coming forth. And most of the respondents were clear. They knew that this is a bribe. This is to incline me to vote for you.
Okay.
And part of the questions we asked them, would a bribe influence the choice of your candidate? And a majority of them said yes, even though it's secret ballot. Sometimes you would be like,
you feel indebted.
Yeah, you
to
feel
them.
indebted to that person, and you feel like, I probably, you know, you
I'm a good
feel
human being,
indebted.
so
Yes, I should return the favor.
I should return the favor.
Yeah.
In the report, you've also given recommendations, and one of it is education. Who's supposed to do this education? Is it, you know, civil society? I mean, who exactly is supposed to conduct this education, especially right now as we head on to the elections?
Now, the respondents and the Kenyan people know what they're supposed to do. They know that it is wrong to pick a bribe.
Won't help.
So education won't help. It's more of a moral issue. You know, it's more of appealing to your inner heart. It's more of saying, what is the bigger picture in me picking this bribe? Because for a simple Kenyan, it may be as simple as picking 50 shillings, you know, but for a politician who pays 50 shillings to 1,000 people, that is 50,000 shillings for one person who is looking for just a position to lead you, you know. And 50,000 in 30 days, if you're paying 50,000 within 30 days of an, you know, that is in millions of shillings.
Yeah.
And where are these politicians getting the money from? You know, if I have 15 million that I would have used to feed my children, why then would I use this money to hand over to people who require me to bring development to them, you know? So looking at the bigger picture, Kenyans just generally need to look at the bigger picture of, by me taking this 50 shillings, it might buy me bread today, but then it might cost me a 15 million project tomorrow. Yeah, because even for a road, a school, a bridge, you know, just the bigger picture.
The bigger picture.
Yes.
Thank you so much for speaking to us, Maureen Wanyonyi. She is a researcher consulting for the Center for Multi-Party Democracy. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Betty. All
right, so remember also on our Twitter poll, that is the conversation we're having online. And really, we are asking you, what is it that is going to eradicate voter bribery? What is that thing that's going to eradicate voter bribery? Let me just sample a couple of tweets here.